Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. In today's collabathon for my Sew Purple to End ALZ challenge, I have a special collaboration. It is a four-way collaboration. I am collaborating, how many times can I say collaborating? I have a collaboration today with April from Sew April, Kris from Sew Notes, and Sheree from Granny's Sewing Room. And if those three are together, then you know we are making a bag. So if you want to see what we've made, then please stay tuned. Okay, so I reached out to April, Kris, and Sheree because I've been wanting to make a bag for a long time. I have a couple of different bags, not a lot. I don't want to become a bag maker. I don't enjoy making gifts for other people. I know that makes me sound like a Scrooge, but I don't want to put that much effort into something and it not necessarily be appreciated by the other person. I'll make gifts for my sister all day long because I know she'll appreciate it. Other people, I'm much more selective when I do it. So I don't have a lot of need for a lot of bags. And honestly, that's because I'm kind of a bag snob. I like really nice leather bags. But I have been wanting to make a waxed canvas tote. I also want to make a color blocked crossbody bag. That one is going to take a little bit more effort because I need a zipper and I just need to be better. For the waxed canvas tote bag, I just wanted something simple. And so what the ladies and I agreed to do, because Sheree was like, I don't make tote bags. And I was like, well, I don't really want to make a handbag bag. So we decided to do Maker's Choice, which I think is even more fun because now you're going to get 4 different handbag patterns and you're going to see all of our different styles. So I cannot wait to see what the other ladies have made. We haven't given each other any sneak peeks. We haven't told each other what patterns we're making. We know nothing. So it's going to be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you guys. So without further ado, let me tell you what I have chosen. So I knew I wanted to make a tote bag and I found a pattern on Etsy from Tammy Handmade and it's the Ava tote bag. It is a very simple tote bag. I wanted to make sure I didn't have any fastenings. I didn't, especially zippers. I would have been okay with a snap or even I forget the ones that kind of go through and turn lock. I think I would have been okay with those. I'm not in a bag with a zipper. I'm not there yet. But this pattern honestly could not have been more simple. And I'll be honest, if I knew then what I know now, I would have looked for a free pattern on the line or a free tutorial on YouTube because I did pay for this pattern and it's literally just a couple of rectangles sewn together. So I do respect indie pattern makers, but I feel like this particular pattern doesn't really warrant a charge. So with that said, I did make some adjustments to the pattern. Some I like, some I don't, but I did learn a lot. So I'm happy with that. So let me just show you my bag. Like I said, it's super simple. It's just a couple of triangles sewn together. There are 2 views for this pattern. There's view A, which is just a solid color, and then there's view B, which is the color block, which is what I did. So when I ordered this fabric on Etsy, and because I couldn't find what I wanted in local fabric stores or on Joann's, most of the places that I found waxed canvas online were darker, kind of brooding colors, and that's not for me. I wanted purple and I wanted to mix it. I wanted to color block it with something. So I wanted some bright colors, and I found this supplier on Etsy. I'm glad I ordered it early because it did take quite a while to get here because it did come from China. But that's the only place I could find these bright colors. If you know of another supplier in the US that has brighter colors in the wax canvas, then please let me know. I would love to support a US based company. Anyway, so the pattern literally had 3 pattern pieces for the View B. It had the top rectangle, the bottom rectangle, and then a pattern for the strap. I didn't use the strap because I knew I wanted to use this guitar strap that I had bought on Etsy last year. And the upper and bottom rectangles, actually the one thing she does in her instructions that I think is good is she tells you what the measurements are of the rectangles, so that if you don't want to print the pattern out, you can just draw the measurements straight on your fabric. I didn't read that before I printed the pattern out, so I did have mine printed. And I'm glad that I did, because I ended up using the pattern twice. So the pattern just calls for you to cut your pattern pieces out, and then this bottom piece is on the fold. So you just sew this seam, that seam, and then the side seams. And then you, if you're following the pattern, you turn the top under an inch and then an inch, and then you top stitch it, and then you attach the straps. And that's as simple as it gets, right? So I chose not to do it that way. I wanted a lining. So I took the pattern pieces and I taped them together, allowing for the seam allowance. And then I cut out the lining on the fold. And I bought this lining at Joann's yesterday. I just happened to have some Hercules free time because my husband is home and he was with Hercules. So I was running an errand and I was like, well, let me pop into Joann's since I don't have the puppy. And I was like, you know what, I have some purple fabric that I could use this lining, but I wanted something that really went with the purple and the pink. And I found this cotton. I think it was one of their novelty prints, and it was on sale, as most things usually are at Joann's. And it had the purple and the pink. So I went to the cutting table, and when she opened it up, I said, I just need a yard, which I actually didn't even need a yard. But she opened it up, and there was a cut piece within the bolt, and it was exactly a yard. So she gave me end of bolt pricing. So I paid less than $2 for this piece of fabric, which was awesome. All right, so I cut out the lining on the fold. I sewed up the side seams, and then I put the lining and the bag right sides together. Before I sewed it together, I made these little loops so that I could put these D-rings in so that I could attach my strap. And that's the one thing I wish I had done differently. But that's lack of bag making experience for you, right? So now I know what to do next time. I would have, if in hindsight, and also as an FYI, other than the top stitching of the very top of the bag, I made this bag 100% on my serger. Every seam was done on my serger. So because of that, I don't want to unpick this and redo it. But in hindsight, I would have gone about it one of two different ways. I either would have bought much smaller D-rings, because these just kind of slip and slide all over the place, or I would have made my bands wider and sewn them closer to the seam so that they weren't flipping all over the place. It's not terrible. It's not that big of a deal. But I did insert those before I sewed the seam of the lining to the bag. And I put one on the front and one on the back, because there's not really there's no side gusset. It's literally just sewing the front to the back. So in order to keep it balanced, I put one in the front and one in the back. And then my my guitar strap just clips on and off. And it's adjustable, so I can make it as long or as short as I want. I could have put a snap in here, but I didn't really feel like it needed it. And there you go. So I will insert a picture here of the bag as I'm, you know, as it's hanging. And I'll put a picture of me wearing it so you can see how Well, I mean, how long it is really depends on the strap, right? So I have it adjusted so that it hits like right at my waist. And I won't use this a lot because I really just use, I've like, when I was younger, I always had big bags and I had everything in them. I can't be bothered with all that anymore. So I've got like a little wristlet that has my credit card, my phone, my ID, my insurance cards, and a lipstick. And then there's room to throw my keys in there. So I have that I usually throw in a little bit bigger of a crossbody bag so that I can put it over my shoulder and I call it a day. Oh, and I always have Excedrin because I always have headaches. So that's all I really carry. So I really thought this would be good, like if I'm going to Akron for work, and needed something to throw like some paperwork in or something. But yeah, I think it came out cute. I'm super excited about it. I love the waxed canvas. So when I got this, it was folded. It had white stripes from where it had been folded in transit. And I was worried that I wouldn't be able to use it. Well, I had some great suggestions from you guys to either like put like a damp cloth and use some steam on it. And that really made me think, what if I throw it in the dryer with a wet towel? And that would kind of steam it up. And that was the perfect solution. All the white lines were gone. And now that I've worked it through and like I had to like bag it, you know, bag the lining. So I had to turn it inside out a couple of times. And that's all given it this like lived in look. And that's what I loved about the wax canvas, is that lived in kind of worn look. So yeah, tell me what your thoughts are on this. Do you use a tote bag? Do you use a handbag anymore? And what would you have done differently here? I'm gonna try and find some free sources for tote bag patterns and videos, because you really, you shouldn't do like I did and pay for a pattern for something this simple. I will, you know, I'd be happy to support Tammy Handmade in other ways, but not with this bag. Anyway, I cannot wait to see what April, Kris, and Sherry have made, and I hope that you will go and check out their videos as well. We are trying to coordinate. We are all in different time zones, so hopefully we got the time conversions right, and all of our videos are going up at the same time. If you've been following along, but you missed yesterday's video, yesterday was with Joe from Sew Joey, and we made the Style Arc Anderson knit dress. And Joe shared a really loving story about her nan, who also lost her battle with Alzheimer's. And tomorrow is with the amazing Emma from Sew Do It Emma, and we are going to make a pinafore. So hopefully you'll want to come back and check that out. As usual, I am posting all of the ALZ links in the description box below. There will be a link to the donation page in memory of my father. There will be a link to the intro video in case you don't know what Sew Purple to End ALZ is all about. I'll share the backstory, I'll share the prizes, I'll share the way to enter the challenge, and all that fun stuff is in that video. And wherever you are, I hope the weather's amazing. I hope you're able to get some sewing in, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.